Well, hello everybody. My name is Michael and you have landed in Sovereign Sandboxing, the YouTube channel where we build, play, and reflect on games that let us shape our own story. And today it is indeed going to be a very different episode for Town to City, because this is going to be the review episode. You see, in the second episode, I unexpectedly finished the demo, I suppose. So I am here just to kind of wrap things up with my Town to City mini-series, I suppose. And I felt that there was no better way to do it than to actually review the game and to review what we can do and just kind of share my own thoughts and opinions on it. Now, when it comes to Town to City, the first thing that I do want to highlight here is the art direction. I have talked about it in the last two episodes, but it does deserve the credit and it does bear repeating in that the art direction that they chose for Town to City is absolutely stunning. The pixelated art, the elevated, well, actually the lighting is really what helps sell this game to me as an artistic video game to play and like as an artistic style, because they get the lighting and the shadows absolutely right, and it does feel extremely Mediterranean, which is the look and feel that they have been going for. So that is the first thing that I really wanted to touch upon here, is just the art direction, and I feel like they have done a wonderful job. And yes, I am just going to be doing a little speed build in the background there. I really lost momentum kind of going through the rest of the game, so I do apologize if you are expecting some sort of masterpiece at the end. Well, the masterpiece doesn't happen. And I just wanted to put something in the background there, and I just really lost momentum after I had finished up the demo there, and I just wanted to just explore what the game mechanics really had to offer in Town to City. Speaking of which, the game mechanics here in Town to City are pretty great. I feel like it has a solid foundation. I feel like the progression and the different structures that you unlock and have access to all make sense, first and foremost, and the way that you unlock them also makes a lot of sense as well. There is an emphasis in this video game on decorating. Specifically, like you are supposed to boost happiness through decorating your settlement, I guess, or decorating your town. And I feel like that was a very original direction to take the video game in, where it really encourages you to decorate and to design your town. And even though like you could quote unquote cheat by just spamming a bunch of objects, and I'm not gonna lie, I did that for a couple of the missions, which I will talk about a little later on. Although you can quote unquote cheat, it definitely encourages progression in a way that I feel like video games don't, it feels very new to me at least. And I say that knowing that there is probably like a video game out there that already does reward players for decorating their towns or decorating their video games. And, immediately like it when it comes to decorating though as a progression milestone, that's where I think that Town to City really stands out as an original pioneer in that direction, or at least what I think of them as a pioneer in that direction. Again, I am sure that there are video games out there that use decorating as a means to progress the main storyline or to progress the main objectives. However, none are coming to mind, and feel free to share a few in the comments if you know of any video games that kind of take a similar approach to progressing by using directions. Anyways, I really enjoyed that direction here with Town to City, and I felt that helped to make this video game stand out and appeal to me because it's a different way of playing for me. Speaking of which, the cozy gameness of it all, I suppose, is certainly something like I'm not like really cool, or like I don't really have an affinity with jumping into a fad like cozy gaming or anything of the sort. But I feel like if you were going to capture that in a video game, Town to City as a demo at least, and Animal Crossing, like those are the games that would come to mind. Or Stardew Valley, like that's another video game that I feel all encapsulate that cozy gaming aspect without it without it getting into the scammer territory. So, so when it comes to Town to City, I felt like it really delivered strongly on that kind of gameplay style, and something that I really appreciate as well. So I was really, all in all, like I was really happy to be playing this game, and had it been like a fully fleshed out game at the time that I was playing it, I'm sure that I would have stuck with the series longer than I did. And yeah, I really did feel like this Town to City didn't feel like it was shorting the player on any kind of gameplay elements, or that it was shorting the player on really enjoying the video game as an entity in of itself. And that is something that I really look for in video games, especially these days, because it is getting kind of hairy out there. It's getting kind of yeah, it's getting kind of hairy out there, you guys. And in the video game world. And this one like really just has a lot of depth to it. Some of the tools that I want to talk about and highlight here is, first and foremost, the road tool. I thought the road tool was actually just okay. There were some tricks and tips that you could use, like that you could apply to the road tool. For example, if you held your control key and clicked and dragged, and also like adjusted some of the settings, you could actually make straight roads. It's just whenever you're making diagonal roads that things just really felt strange to me. And maybe that was just my cue to like switch to a circle paintbrush, but hey, if you're gonna make diagonal roads or switch directions, it kind of needs to like, it didn't flow as smoothly as I was hoping for. But again, that could just be a user error in this case. Like I almost wanted to move the map so that whenever I switch direction for a square pathway, that the switch direction wouldn't be on a diagonal angle. I hope I'm explaining myself correctly there. The other gameplay mechanic that I thought was really strong was the way that citizens would move in. You would select a house for them, and they would sometimes have traits that need to be at least tended to, otherwise they would have been unhappy citizens. And I thought that that was a really strong game mechanic. It is something that is not really seen before. Like it feels a lot micromanagey, and I feel like as this game continues to grow into the fully fleshed out game itself, and you know, as it continues to progress and evolve as a video game, like that will probably end up being something that is a little more, that feels a little more like a chore than anything else. But at the same time, you can ignore those citizens and they won't bother you. So that was kind of nice as well. The technology tree, I did want to touch upon that. I felt that the technology tree was really well done. To me, it felt very easy to gain technology, and I didn't even need to like unlock buildings and stuff. And I really didn't need to fully flesh out my observatory, which, you know, kind of goes into a criticism that I have of this game, and that it does feel a little too easy in some retrospects. At some point, like I was just making killer money and I maxed out in my bank account and stuff. And same thing with the research. I maxed out quite frequently and often. It was just in those beginning stages when you're just starting out your town there that it felt like there was a tiny bit of a challenge. But again, I didn't feel like it was challenging enough. And so I hope that when the full game comes out, we can at least adjust the difficulty level, because that would go a long way. So yeah, that's kind of my biggest criticism against Town to City, is just the difficulty. I also wanted to touch on the warehouse. Yeah, I really wanted to touch on the warehouse dynamic and the gameplay elements at play there. Essentially, like to fulfill your commercial lots needs, like a hat maker, for example, or even some of your market stalls, they do need access to a warehouse that is relatively nearby. The warehouse delivers the goods. You need employees in the warehouse. You need employees in the place of business that they're delivering the goods to, and all is good. And it's a pretty straightforward game mechanic. However, well, there is no however. I thought that the game mechanic actually worked smoothly for the demo, but it's actually a game mechanic that I would be a little more concerned about going forward. For example, to me, it feels like a warehouse district is not exactly possible. And I would be very curious as to how the full game is going to handle industrial buildings going forward, because a warehouse district would be really cool to have in the town that eventually evolves into a city. But if you have to have your warehouses within a certain proximity to the to your commercial lots and whatnot, and to your stores, then that kind of it doesn't allow the player to explore the idea of having like an industrial zone. However, with that said, the full game isn't out as of the time that I'm recording, and knowing my luck, it'll probably be fully released by the time this little review of the demo is released. So I have that to look forward to. I overall, like, this Town to City was a wonderful game to play through. The music was also pretty phenomenal, and something that totally speaks to the style of music that I would enjoy listening to when playing a video game like this. I do consider this something as well. This channel is all about is really all about games that let us shape our own stories. And when I'm shaping my own story in a video game, I do like to have relaxing music to listen to. And you know, I hate to say it, but the Sims 3 music is just not relaxing. This is very relaxing and something that is totally up my alley for that kind of mood setting gameplay. So I absolutely loved the soundtrack that came with Town to City. I also did want to, I know I'm jumping around here a little bit, but I did want to talk about the missions that your citizens give you. And although, like, again, this speaks to that challenge level that I was criticizing on it before, you can totally cheat your way through these missions as they are as they present themselves in the demo at the very least. Like, for example, if you need to place a certain number of trees in an area, you can just kind of, you know, place the trees and consider it good within, you know, the area that they decorate, that you're supposed to decorate or whatever. The storylines to it is pretty cool though, but it did feel really easy to me. Overall, I am going to have to end off this video. I mean, this is a short one for my channel, but I just wanted to like give it a strong review here. This would be a video game that I would recommend. I feel like it does have a lot of depth to it, and just kind of looking at the future and what that fully fleshed out game is going to look like, I think that this game has a very long shelf life and maybe even a franchise on its horizon, just based on like what the gameplay elements are. They feel very fully fleshed out. Like, even as your citizens start moving into your town or city or whatever, they start interacting with a lot of your decorative objects. Like, they'll actually go out of their way to interact with them. Like, I saw some citizens like sitting on benches, for example, in my plaza, which I felt was not exactly in the most convenient location to access. But that just goes to show how sophisticated the gameplay mechanics are for this demo, and that's something that gets me really excited about what the fully fleshed out game is going to be. And it gives me a lot of hope, actually, that a very high quality game is on the horizon for players to have in their hands. Now, like I said before, this video game doesn't like, when I ended the demo, it says that the full game is going to be released in summer 2025. I'm recording this in the middle of August 2025, so you know, like I said, knowing my luck, it'll probably be released before this video gets gets out there in the ether. But but yeah, I just really wanted to share my thoughts on Town to City just as I kind of wrap up this series on my channel. And when the full game does come out, it would be something that I would very much look forward to playing again, and maybe even sharing with you guys here, as I feel that there's a lot of gameplay to be had, a lot of fun, and a lot of just, you know, opportunities to tell your own story about starting a little town that grows into a city. And I'd be very excited to see how this game allows us to tell those stories. So yeah, that is about all of my thoughts on Town to City. If you've enjoyed the series, and if you've enjoyed playing the demo yourself, feel free to leave a comment below sharing your thoughts and feelings, and I guess your own review yourself if you so feel inclined to. I'm just going to take another moment here just to say thank you so much for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, if you've enjoyed hearing my thoughts on Town to City and this little mini review, feel free to like this video and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you again, and I hope you have yourselves a wonderful day.